Part 2 of the Mallard decoy comparison videos for 2022. We have premium Mallard floaters on the table, no flocking, just painted heads. That's the difference between this video and the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, we have it up on our YouTube page, and it's the flocked head version of this. So starting from your guys' left, our right, we're going to talk about the brands and the models of decoys we have on the table. Aaron, what's all the way to the right?
So starting here, we've got the Final Approach EVA Live Series Floating Mallard.
Okay. And then to its right would be the Pro Grade XD Series Floating Mallard. It's also an EVA body, a softer body. The Top Flight, you could say Fusion Pack, but there's open waters, backwaters. It's the Top Flight Mallard floaters from avian-x. And then we got the Flambeau Gunning Series floating mallards. There's some cool features on this duck as well. And then the Battleship painted head from Higdon, foam filled. We'll go over that in a bit. And then the Heyday, formerly known as Lifetime, Flex Float floating mallards right here with the painted head. You guys might be familiar with this. It's been out for a few years. Most of these have.
And then the bonus.
A new one for this year that's similar to the X. Well, it's the same carve and everything. It's the XD Series January Mallard. We threw that in there just to throw, just to give you another option. It's a different looking duck. So kind of starting with material, just like we did on the last video, let's go from your guys' left, our right here. FA Live EVA Mallards. It's an EVA decoy or EVA material. It holds the paint better. It can take a beating. It flexes. It doesn't crack. It doesn't chip. That type of stuff. Very, very premium material. That's why it's on this table here. Next is the XD series. Same thing. It's a blended EVA of plastics material of some type, and it is soft. It is lightweight, and it can take a beating. We did a video years ago when the XD series first came out, and we did like a torture test.
Oh man, we beat the snot out of them.
Yeah, we were hitting them with baseball bats. They were getting drugged behind a truck, run over by a truck. We were scratching them together,
jumping on them.
Yeah, trying to see if they would have any, if the paint would fall off or anything like that, And then avian-x Top Flight. These have been out for a long time. If you're not familiar with them, they've made a one-piece EVA decoy for years, and this is what you're looking at. This is this upright head position would be part of their open water series or their fusion pack.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also an EVA one piece, and this is different. This is going to be a high density, like a harder plastic. So it's very resilient to scratching and whatnot, but it's not a foam, it's not squishy, it's a harder plastic. But there's some features we'll talk about on this gunning series from Flambeau, and then it's that keel, which is pretty neat. Battleship, Higdon, they make a nice, strong paint. It's a hard, high-density plastic, and then they have it foam-filled. So it is rock solid if we're talking about the material here. So these things are unsinkable. And then the Heyday Flex Float Mallards here are a EVA foam style. Different than some of the others, but these things are unsinkable as well. As you can see, we'll talk about here in the features up on this video about their Flex Float keel and whatnot. But EVA, very, very light, durable with paint, and you can shoot these and they're not sinking and all that good stuff.
And last but not least, it's the GHG XD Series Mallards.
Yep.
Same carve, same quality of paint as the standard XD with a painted head. Obviously, it's a January Mallard, so It's going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit whiter. But other than that, the paint is going to be the same quality. So exact same carve and everything, but just holding them up, you guys can see the difference that this January Mallard right here is definitely a lot lighter. But we wanted to throw that in there because it is a painted head premium Mallard.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've talked about the material, we've kind of gone down the line. What do we talk about now?
We got paint next, just like what the paint quality, what certain mallards of these have different than others. So starting with the lives, Talk a little bit about what you see that sticks out on that decoy.
Well, first of all, going just through all of these decoys, again, they're all a premium painted head. So none of these are really in that economy scale. So they're all going to be a high-end painted head. So they're all really good decoys. There isn't a decoy on this table that I would not. So as far as paint quality, I mean, a solid decoy, there's not a lot of shine, not a lot of glare. Great painted head, good size. I would say it's a little bit of an oversized as opposed to a life size. But I think FA did a great job here.
They got a little bit of blue on the back of the head. They got kind of an iridescent blue on the speculum, and they have a very bright tail, which we'll notice we talked about in our last video as well.
And I like the color of, it's good solid color yellow here. It's not a neon yellow. It's not an orange.
Yeah.
I think they really dialed that in as well.
And you'll, if you look close enough, you'll see some iridescent green in the tail and the black and the black
head,
on the back. Yeah. And then XD, the paint job is just, it's killer.
Yes. A lot of stencil work on this guy.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you like about it?
I mean, this particular carve has a huge area for the speculum, and they've really focused in on painting that, and it looks great. The head has got some detail, and the cheeks for the green, and then the back and the feather detail. It's just all very, very well done. It's got some of this iridescent purple right in the back. When that duck is in that resting position, their kind of wings are the side that black is kind of popping through, and it's kind of got that iridescence to it. Top flight floating mallard. I mean, these things have been out for a while. It's got some purple in the back of the head, which I think is kind of newer from what we from the original avian-x top flights.
Yeah, you can kind of see that there on camera.
Yeah.
The one decoy that I have noticed that doesn't have a painted speculum.
Yep.
And they tend to run a little bit more orange as opposed to yellow. But other than that, I mean, avian-x is known for a great carve and a great paint.
Yeah. They got good high contrast on the back
Oh,
of the
yeah.
paint job as well. You can see some of the others aren't as from dark to grays as much as the avian-x here. The gunning series, it's a lighter gray than some of the previous ducks we just talked about.
So I'll hold that up kind of compared to the avian-x here so you can see it, that it is definitely a little bit lighter in gray. So this is the Flambeau gunning series. This is going to be your avian-x, a little bit different in color. Out of curiosity, I might hold it up there next to the January mallard, and you can still see that it's not quite as white as the green headgear January mallard, but it's a very light colored mallard.
Yeah, and they have nice gradient on the speculum, and they have a good bill color for sure. And then they have some iridescence on the black, tail, and then also some white. It's not as bright as I would say the XD or the FA on the tail. But
No.
it's actually probably brighter than the top flights from avian-x.
The gray on this reminds me a lot of the Dakota Extreme flocked heads that was our previous video. Yeah, it's a lighter gray for sure. What do we got down there?
The Battleship from Higdon. They have a nice gray tone. I don't think it's too dark, and I don't think it's January yet. And they just have a lot of contrast on the back. But these things, when you see them on the water, they just pop. They got a little bit of white on the side, not as much as some of the others that have white all the way across. But they got a little bit of white on the side. Their speculum has a little bit of iridescence, and it's got the blue-purple kind of look on this particular one.
Yeah, and they're beefy. Huge decoy, foam-filled. And, of course, the decoy body itself is going to be very similar to that of the flocked head.
Yeah, and then they have a good big rester head and some other head positions with the green. Bill color is like I don't know what you call that, a mustard yellow. They got big black eye with some detail right there on the cheek and the eye area. Yeah, they definitely high contrasting on the water, and how big they are is awesome. And then Heyday's Flex Float Mallards that we talked about in the last video, they have a muddier, creamier tint to the actual, we said gray on all these other ones, and this one's got more of a cream tone to it. It's got maybe a touch of yellow on the gray. You can kind of see that look in the video there.
Pop on the water, though.
Yes, they definitely pop on the water. Look how big the speculum paint on that. It's a nice, big gradient, light blue to blue. can see the back. It's not as contrasting, I would say, as an avian-x on the back, with those dark colors right there. But then they do have a really nice head color with some blue iridescence added into there, and the nice, green and black look. I say the bill colors are really good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. So the tail is not as bright white as something like, say, the FA, but it's like a cream color, like the same color of the Decoy. But these definitely do pop off the water. And then XD, we kind of showed that a couple times. Man, this just it's highly contrasting bright duck.
Yes.
I really like the look of it.
Yes, that thing is going to pop on the water for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're used to running, like a mallard that's a little darker, you could throw a 6-pack of these in your spread just to add a little bit different mix. So solid decoy right there. Let's move on to weight. We'll go down the line and kind of weigh all these guys and see.
Yeah. We'll talk about weight and size as we go through these ducks here. I would say, as we're getting going, the smallest duck on this table is the gunning series. And you compare it to a top flight, which is top flight, I would say, is a very life-size decoy. And the gunning series might be a touch smaller, but they're very close. If you see that, they're very close.
And then I would say XD and probably Lifetime are very similar.
Oh yeah, they're
next
almost,
on the list. So here's an avian-x top flight fusion. Here's going to be like your green headgear XD series. So your avian-x may be a little longer. That green headgear is going to be a little butterball.
Those two little butterballs right there for sure.
Yes.
They got a very similar carve and everything. So.
And then I'll hold up the FA next to the green headgear, and you can kind of see size-wise there.
FAs have like a 10%, oversized look, and then obviously you can hold the FAs up to the battleships.
Yeah.
And then those are the big one. I can try to get.
Sure.
Yep.
Battleships, they are huge, so you can see that there.
All right, looking at weight. Let's start with FA there.
Yeah. Let's go down the line.
So this one's a little bit bigger than oversized.
Okay, so the FA.
1.58, pound and a half.
Yep. Okay.
1 pound, a little bit over a pound and a quarter.
1.36.
Yeah. Pound 4 ounces roughly.
Green headgear.
XD series, same thing, a little bit over a pound and 4 ounces, pound and a quarter.
And then
So this probably weighs the same.
yeah, the January is going to weigh the same. We'll go on to the gunning series from Flambeau.
A little bit lighter, closer to a pound. Probably,
1.2.
yeah, 1.2.
What's this bad boy going to be?
This is the big one.
Over 2 pounds.
Over 2 pounds probably, but maybe it might sneak under 2 pounds. I don't know. The flocked head ones was like 2 1/4,
Yeah.
and these are about 2 1/4 as well.
Yeah, 2.3. So they are real heavy. Now, the Lifetime decoys, we do not have the weights in them, so they're going to be a little bit lighter than normal. I want to say the weights are going to add
4 ounces.
Yeah, 4 ounces.
4 ounces. So these are a little bit over 3/4 of an ounce, or 3/4 of a pound.
0.82.
Yeah.
And I want to say they're like 1.1 or I think they're less than 1.2 even with the weights.
in
Yeah.
them.
So
Gotcha. Closer. So you have almost pound and a half on the FAs, and then they went a little bit lighter on the top flights.
pound and a third, pound and a quarter, sub 1 pound, over 2 pounds.
Over 2 pounds for sure.
Okay.
So features on these white, these are all premium decoys, but they all kind of have like some little differences to them. The FA Live, I would say it's like their oversized carve, and then the EVA is what makes this a premium decoy.
And you can rig it front and back on the keel.
Yep.
So multiple rigging points there.
The top flights, EVA one piece, that's kind of like the features on these premium decoys. Good paint. They have a really cool keel, multiple rigging spots, and they have a swim, hook too, that you can wrap your line well and hook it through the swim portion as well.
XD series, also EVA, high-end quality, high-end
piece.
paint, one piece, multiple rigging points on the keel.
60-40 keel. They've been using for years.
Now, we start getting into the interesting keels here.
So, yeah, this is why this decoy is on the table is, it's got a hard plastic body with good paint, but it's got the gunning style keel system. We've done some videos in the past on showing how much this thing moves on top of the water. So it's, taking a keel system from the gunning style decoys from the past. It's got a stainless steel weight and then the bottom of the decoy is actually carved, it's curved and made to ride on top of the water like that. And that keel weight is helping it run true in the water, but it really does like to dance around the wind. So premium paint job with that keel system. These things move a ton with little wind, and they move a lot with a good amount of wind. Features on the battleships is indestructible. Foam filled on the inside all the way through. Durable paint job. This has the feeders you said have one piece, but there's some two piece on the upright heads.
So yeah, you can always mess with these. You could turn it into a preener. You can do whatever. So.
Yeah.
Turn it into a preener. You can make it a standard, whatever.
Yeah, left and right looker. And then Heyday's Flex Float Mallards. There's a bunch of features here. Not only, their EVA foam is a different manufacturing process than the others, but it's an open cavity with these Flex Float keels on either side. That's where the weights go right there, and you can shoot these. They're not sinking just by design with these keels on the outside. It's kind of like a pontoon. They got 2 rigging spots front and back. And let's say you throw these out without the keel weights in them, they might not self-right. You might have to go around and pick them up and throw them the correct way. But if you throw your weights in them, they're going to be a little bit heavier, but they 90% chance they're going to self-right when you toss them out.
So yeah, the last 3 decoys on the table really have some features. Obviously, with the Flambeau gunning series, you've got that gunning series keel, which is going to create a ton of movement, super unique. The Higdon, you're going to have that foam-filled aspect to it, so it's an unsinkable decoy. And then, of course, the Lifetime, you've got the unsinkable decoy, but then you've also got the advantage of being able to run weights or not run weights, so super lightweight. If you're a guy that has to pack in every time, you got to walk, you got to hike in front of you, super lightweight, especially if you don't want to run those weights. If you've got a boat and you're not worried about weight, you've got the advantage of a foam-filled Higdon. So a lot of features there.
It's saying that, pound and a half on the FAs and then a pound on these. You're talking about with a dozen. I think you're talking about 6 pounds different.
Exactly.
Not even count.
And that's just for 1 dozen.
That's for 1 dozen.
Exactly. So price.
We kind of got them ranked. I'll move this a little bit this way. And the pricing, we've got them ranked from least to the highest. Prices change every time we put things on sale, or from year to year things go different ways. But starting off, at the lowest price point, very similar, really close to each other, head to head is the FA Live painted head EVA Mallards and the Top Flight Mallards.
Yes, very close.
Yeah, and then just a little bit above that, you're looking at the XD series painted pro grade GHG Mallards, and then just a step up from there is the gunning series, and then from there you're at the January Mallards are probably next. And then you have the Battleship foam fields from Higdon, and then at the top, the most premium price is the Heyday Flex Float Mallards, formerly known as Lifetime.
Yes. So this was a long video. It was full of information, but we wanted to throw these on the table. It's been a while since we've had all of these in stock at once, but we had them. So we just tried to give you guys as much information and compare them all so you can see them all in one video. We know you guys love the comparison videos. So you love our videos where we talk about one individual decoy, but they're all here on the table. The first thing before we wrap up this video, leave a comment down below and let us know which of these is your favorite or which ones you're running this year. We had you do that with the flocked heads, but same scenario here. So a lot of information, a lot of duck decoys. Everybody loves a good mallard. All right, you guys watching on YouTube, Chandler's going to tell you what to do. Hit the subscribe button because this video came here to YouTube first, and we want you guys to get a notification every time we do a really cool video like this, so you'll be the first to see it. Also, down in the description, I'll have a link to each one of these decoys so you can check them out on our website. If we missed any information, it'll be there. You can check them out. Also, head over to our Facebook and Instagram. Give us a follow over there. And if you use our Rogers branded products, tag us and you may see yourself featured on our social media.